Hey everyone, it's Mike piddling around the yard, and today I got something special. This video is a trip we took to Hawaii, and this is the island of Kona. And in it we went to, well, I went to a lava flow down to the beach, and then we went up to a cloud forest rainforest. And so I took this video because my wife couldn't go with me on the excursion, and so I videotaped most of it, and so I hope you enjoy. Here it is.
Separated, they each have half a flower, and if you try and bring the beach Naupaka up the hill, it doesn't get enough oxygen, it'll die. If you try and bring the mountain Naupaka down to the beach, it gets too hot and it burns. So they are separate but sisters, they say, the beach Naupaka. Alright, so we saw turtles this morning. I saw about 6 over here on the right, but they are all the way around the coastline. You guys have 30 minutes. If you want to walk all the way down to the edge out there, feel free. And we're going to...
I'm on the beach. Supposedly there were turtles here earlier today, but they probably ran and hid at this point. Alright, we'll see if he comes to the surface. There's a turtle just under the water right there. Oh, he stuck his flipper up. We'll see if he comes up. Oh, that was a big wave. Got a little wet. But look at that. There's a green sea turtle right there. It's probably hard to see him on the video. I can't see. Alright, there's like 3 or 4 turtles right there. Let's see if any of them poke up. But yeah, there's a bunch of these little sea turtles here at the shore today. Oh, there's one. So that's really cool. Okay, this is definitely kind of what I thought about Hawaii. If you're not talking about the white sand and black sand beaches where people swim, this would be the kind of beach that I would think of. It's all volcanic rock. That's what you see in the waves. The sand is basically a mixture of volcanic rock and shells that have been beaten against the shore. Right? The beach is very, it's not that big. It's like that big. And then you get into the shore and it's just a bunch of these trees and bushes and everything else. This is kind of the raw lava beach that I kind of expected. This is lava right here. All this rock, so the waves are kind of starting to beat it down, so it's not sharp and jagged anymore. So it's been here quite a while, getting beat by the waves. But that's what's all through here is lava from a lava flow back in 1801, I think he said. Came out to the beach here. And now there's a lot of sea turtles. Those green sea turtles hang out kind of in this area. Actually, this rock is a little bit slippery. So
Didn't come here for irrigation, but so a little bit of petroglyphs here. You got a man over there on the left. These petroglyphs are less than 2,000 years old because there's only been people inhabiting these islands for less than 2,000 years. So in the scale of petroglyphs around the world, these are relatively young. But because we're a volcanic island, anytime we have lava flowing into the ocean, the island is getting bigger, but it's also covering up a lot of the history of Hawaii. So these are some that haven't been covered yet, but there might be some wasps over there.
Hiking through the lava fields along the beach.
So because you can tell how old the wall is.
Grab it.
In the 1820s. The first settlers of Hawaii, the Kona, is built on the slopes of Hawaii. Now, the last eruption was 1801, and that's what the airport is built on. We saw a little of it down there. But they say throughout Hawaiian history that Hualalai erupts every 200 years.
So we're due.
You could say we're overdue.
So anytime now.
Right.
Not today though.
Hopefully not today. But honestly, you don't know where it's going to erupt from, because with our shield volcanoes, a lot of times it doesn't erupt out of the top. It'll come out of a crack in the side, what we call an effusive eruption. You guys saw the eruption back in 2018, heard about it, saw it on the news.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big one, destroyed the town of Kalapana. There's more than 700 homes that were destroyed, something like 180 million in property damage. But everybody got out safely. Everybody managed to evacuate.
Do you have to buy extra insurance for that?
Yes, you
Just
definitely
like
have extra insurance.
Hurricane?
Yep.
Disaster insurance, they call it.
There's lava insurance.
That makes the property relatively cheap. You can buy an acre of land for about $10,000, but the risk of lava flow is very high. There was a town in Kalapana back in 1985 that got destroyed in an eruption, and then they rebuilt, and then that same town got destroyed in 2018. So now they're starting to rebuild, and there's a very high chance that it's going to be destroyed in the future.
So the insurance is really expensive.
So if you have an acre of land, disaster insurance is about $1,000 a month.
Wow.
So most people can't afford that insurance, and they basically have to start over. They still own the land, they just have a higher elevation, right? But first you have to wait for the lava to cool down. And in Leilani Estates, there in Kona, it was like 20 foot thick and flew through. So it took years and years to cool down. It's very well insulated. They call this lava because that's the sound you make when you walk on it barefoot. You got some wild goats up here on the left. Wild goats love this grass. This grass was brought out here by George Vancouver in 1798. Donkeys, horses, cows, a bunch of birds, hawks, owls. But the biggest problem on the island is the pig, wild pig. There's only like 200,000 people that inhabit this island, but there's 800,000 pigs.
Oh my God.
Which means it's open season on pig all year round. If anybody wants to go hunting, I've got some on the property. We already dropped down to 75 degrees, raining. We've got some umbrellas in the back. It's much different weather from the beach. All you gotta do is go up a couple thousand feet.
try and see how far you get.
Yeah, right?
Maybe.
Heel over.
Great way to judge.
Okay, no more on the way.
There's that golden there's bamboo.
Okay, bamboo. Bamboo. Yeah. It's so cool when it's all dry.
Alright guys, we have arrived. Kaloko, cloud forest. I don't think you really need an umbrella, but if you want one, we got them in the back. This is just a little...
Okay, here's the entrance to the Cloud Forest Sanctuary. It is probably 20 degrees cooler here than it was down on the beach. And it's raining. Another hike.
I think the cactus plant actually the way it is in
Just flowers everywhere and different plants growing.
Is it one of those things?
It's weird, look at that. One leaf is bright red. These variegated plants. Crazy. Alright. This is just as difficult to walk on as the lava. Roots everywhere. This is just some guy's property that the tour company is allowed to go. He rents it out as a B&B. Definitely a rainforest, and it is actually raining. Just all the different types of plants. I mean, they're crazy. Look at this one. There you go. Alright, maybe I should catch up a little bit without tripping on all the roots. Here's some more of these yellow flowers. These are cool. These are really cool. Why do I hear, I don't know what those are, birds or monkeys in here? Look at this. What the heck is that? It's a really weird root system. It kind of looks like bamboo, but that's really weird. Alright. Look at that. These are berries. That is crazy. Alright, let's see. Let's try not to get lost. Oh, there you go. It's a parrot. He's got parrots up here. Hello, parrots. Hello. How are you guys? Ooh, that one's pretty. Lots of colors. There's a couple in there. Alright, we better get moving. Wow. This is definitely a jungle. There's stuff over in the woods. Something making noise in the woods.
There's definitely something up the trail, so keep your eyes peeled.
You're gonna see something right on the ground. You dare?
It's a fig. It's like a fig, yeah. But here on this side of the island, there's very little topsoil because it takes years and years of erosion before you have organic matter that can decompose to create soil. So this is relatively young compared to most of the island, very little topsoil. The roots can't go down. They're forced to spread out. And because we're in a cloud forest, they're getting so much moisture from the air that they just continue to grow their entire lives. So as we go up here, watch out for the roots.
Look
if
at
they're
those roots.
green, they're slippery. So just watch your steps.
That's crazy.
Marble tree. There's normal yeah, if there was more soil.
I mean, there's definitely soil here on the ground, but who knows how deep it is.
About a month ago.
I mean, and it's all just forest litter breaking down. And because it's so moist, it'll take a while. It doesn't ever dry out. Bamboo, plenty of bamboo. But look at this root. This root system is crazy. I mean, look. It's as high as my knee. I mean, you can see here. I'm going to walk around it. And this tree, look at that. That tree goes way up. So that's a big tree. I mean, that thing's 4 feet across. Alright, let's go this way. I guess we didn't go that way. There's another huge tree. Oh, everybody went down this way, so we will go this way. This is definitely the tropical forest that we thought about when you think about Hawaii. It is definitely super tropical. It seems like it's maybe 70 degrees. 70, 72. It's not that cold up here. It's not cold, it's not hot. And it's raining. So that makes it nice. When we were down at the beach earlier, it was 89 degrees and hot. Because it didn't help that the lava in the ground was absorbing the heat, and so heat was radiating from the ground. And now it's nice and cool. Oh, here's birds. More birds.
Exit is also this direction.
Exit, we're going to
Oh man, I'd say 80% of the time. But it's never really like a heavy rain. Right? It's just
misting.
yeah.
Going this way?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that bird is talking.
You sure that's not my wife?
They're on the fig.
Oh, okay.
but they don't taste very good. I've been in one the other day. Very sour, lots of seeds.
Mm. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at the roots. Again, we're walking up through here, all these roots. Another one of these giant trees. It's called the blue marble tree. And somebody found one. It drops these fruits that look like blue marbles. It's part of the fig family. Alright, here we go again.
Alright, watch your head.
That is kind of weird.
Watch your head.
Did you see your head?
Not me, but you did. I'm letting you guys know. Watch your head.
That tree's dead.
So upset.
Oh,
Uh-oh. He's mad we aren't there anymore.
Did it make you bleed?
no. Oh, I see what you mean.
More roots. Having to climb through these roots.
Adam, did you hear the rainbow? He said this was pretty easy, and I think some people can do it.
Yeah.
Where? Right here.
Oh.
Right down there on the other side of this twig.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Oh. See it? If you walk here, it's right on this other side of the twig here.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead.
But I You can bring it back and wash it. With your water. There's another one down there.
Oh my goodness.
Good. All right. Ooh, that's good. Come on, babes.
So luckily, another marble.
They're pretty good.
You tried it? Yep, I mean, they're not bad.
Okay.
They're like a grape.
Good grape. Here. Oh, it is soft.
Yeah, just like a grape. Tastes just like one.
Yeah, okay.
Not kidding. See, if you were on Survivor, you'd have to.
It really does taste like a grape.
I'll pass for today.
What do you say, okay?
It's only dirty on the outside.
Yeah.
So once you open it up, you can have the clean stuff.
Yeah.
Nope, I'll pass.
Maybe if this was the last tour day and I didn't have to worry about missing them tomorrow.
Yeah, so Norfolk pines come from Norfolk Island off the coast of Australia.
That's Virginia.
Very symmetrical. Brought here by Captain Cook. We call them the Cook pine.
You guys have snakes here?
There's
No.
one snake, but it's the size of a worm, and it's blind, and it's non-venomous. So
Sounds like the worst kind of snake.
it's technically a snake because it has a vertebrae, but it looks like a worm, slithers like a snake. Yeah, what kind of tree is that?
You got the eucalyptus? No. Is that rainbow?
Yeah. That is the painted eucalyptus or the rainbow eucalyptus. Eucalyptus doesn't need bark, so throughout its life the bark falls off, exposing different colors underneath. Later we'll see some white eucalyptus as well from South America.
Oh, that one right there?
Nothing
Yeah.
you're touching.
No, so it's
This
the Asian
painted.
eucalyptus that's really oily and really smelly.
That's funny because he asked me if I'd seen a rainbow tree, and he said that if you peel the bark, it looks like a rainbow.
Yeah, well, he said the bark falls off.
I don't even see any. Oh, it's at the bottom. Okay. Oh, this. Yeah. Take a picture of this.
Giant fern, a palm tree, bamboo everywhere. Ooh, here we go.
The snorkeling is the cook tour. Captain Cook, and it takes you to a coffee farm. Takes you
There we go. Look at that.
and then it takes you
There's some flowers up there.
They must have got it mixed up when they put it out there.
There's some that are closer down here, so I'll get a good picture. There. There it is. Bunches of those everywhere. Look at them. So, a giant fern. Now we're opening back up here. Look at that bamboo. Holy cow. That is some bamboo there. Some trees fell down a little bit ago. Ooh, look at that one. There's a cool one. I've seen these in the store. There's a, look, here's a daylily.
Oh my goodness, what kind of plant is that?
I read about that when I kept on watering.
So this is, I believe it's a type of bromeliad,
We should take a picture.
but there's like 30,000 different types of
Yeah.
bromeliads. That's what this plant is over here.
Check that out.
Bromeliad.
What the heck?
Stop at him. Yeah.
Tropical picture.
Nice. And here there's just so much water. It's really
More of that eucalyptus tree. That rainbow eucalyptus. The bark just falls off and then it gets that trunk. There's a bigger one. That one's like 3 or 4 feet across. That's a huge one. More of these flowers.
It's a fungus or that. And fungus. Wow.
Again, now this is a different kind of tree. Look at the roots on that.
Did the other couple turn around back there?
I don't know what they're doing. I hope they're coming.
Alright, so here in the forest, we got some coffee. So all of these are coffee plants. You can see some tiny little coffee beans on here. The next farm we're going to, you're going to see a bunch of coffee, but yep. Coffee can grow to be like 30 feet tall. So
Wow.
most of the time they chop off the tops, that way it's still manageable, they can pick it. But here there's just no light, so it's just shooting up super tall. Over here, this one's an avocado tree. You can tell by the way the leaf looks with that brown spot on it, because they do lose their leaves in the fall.
Where's the fruit?
There's none here because it's not getting enough light. But there's some hanging at the coffee place, if you remind me. Parking lot of the coffee place has avocados. Above us, you've got these wispy little pine trees. These are ironwood. They are conifer, and evergreen. But they produce these needles that are super acidic. So as they fall to the ground, you've just got this blanket of needles up there, up the hill. It prevents anything else from stealing nutrients or growing beneath it. So that's the ironwood. But actually these ones up here aren't ironwood. These are the Norfolk pine because they're super symmetrical. All of this is all wild ginger. It's growing here. I think this is a pink ginger.
Because underneath it was all brown underneath.
So ginger is extremely invasive because it's a root. If you chop off all the tops, it's just going to continue to sprout up new tops forever. So you could rip some out. Hopefully we'll find some root down here.
They were small with the ginger root.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go. Oh, what do we take a picture of
A little bit of light ginger. So the ginger you usually eat is the red ginger. This one is pink, I believe. Ginger root.
Smells like a root.
Ginger. Oh yeah, smells good.
Look. Can keep watching out. The trail is treacherous.
Be careful.
It's dark.
I think I said that we gotta do. Give me out. Well, I had double vision, so I wanted to try to patch on my eye.
Getting into the thick bamboo forest.
Yeah, probably taking water from up the hill. 50 feet down.
I saw that.
Nope.
Oh, okay. I didn't think so.
It's just a little bit of bamboo on this part of the trail.
Yep, so two different kinds of bamboo here. This is the cluster bamboo, which is what the Polynesians brought out here. They used it for their celestial navigation. This other one, this is the oriental bamboo that is extremely invasive. It spreads like crazy. The cluster bamboo is less invasive.
Okay. All right, we're going downhill and it's slippery.
Going downhill sometimes is worse.
Yeah.
Going downhill is worse than going uphill
I know,
sometimes.
sometimes.
Take smaller steps.
I'm holding on to that. It's pretty steady, actually. This is a little bit of balance.
Oh,
I'll go down first. I'll go down first.
giant piece of bark. continuing to head down slope. Very slippery from all the rain. Luckily, there's just enough lava rock poking through the soil to give you something to grip on. Alright, we're down here again. There's more flowers everywhere. Now we're in this grove of all these red flowers. And it's all around us, everywhere. Because more light is getting through right here, so these things are growing up. And now also a grove of ferns. And then you have the giant ferns up there. Those things are 15 feet high. And we have this and then right here at the road, check that out. And then we're back out. We'll go get back on the bus. Okay. Alright, now I'm walking back and what do I see? Hydrangeas. Still growing wild in the forest, better than the ones I planted at home. But all along the road is those red flowers, some hydrangeas. So what are these? Oh, that's different.
Ginger. So this is the pink ginger. This is the yellow. This is the kahili. That's what they call it.
That looks cool.
And you can take them. They're kind of like honeysuckle. And you have to grab the base pretty far down and pinch it. And then suck just a little bit of juice out of it. Sweet nectar.
Gotta try that.
Kahili ginger.
I'll try that. You do the flower?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You haven't done that before?
No. Let's see. I didn't know you could do this. That's cool.
Alright, let's see.
I don't think I did it right because
It's not much.
I didn't really get anything.
Oh, it's definitely ginger.
Oh, but you'll
Did you
do
do it
that.
right way down here? Is
I know,
that
right?
Did you do it way down to the stem?
Yeah.
Just down to the.
But it's just the flavoring.
Okay.
It's not like you're going to get a mouthful of juice. It's very different. So there's just so many different plants. Now you got this one here. Looks really cool. Purple flowers. Right next to it you got this other plant that has these little red flowers hanging down. More of that ginger. And then you've got these purple things. Whatever the heck those are. So then you come down and there's just more of everything. All over, more hydrangeas. More giant ferns back there. Because there's definitely a gully back in there. Look at these hydrangeas. Crazy. There's just a ton of these hydrangeas. And then the ginger plants. And then you have these orange cone plants. Just a couple of those though. Before we get on, this is that Angels Trumpet flower that hangs down. It's huge. I mean, that flower's from the base of it to the end of the flower has got to be over a foot long.
The birds brought a lot of seeds. There's a bird that migrates to Hawaii every year from Alaska called the plover. But there's a lot of different types of species of birds here. They say the birds were the second founders of Hawaii, and that they followed the whales, because every year the whales migrate down to Alaska from Alaska to Hawaii. Some make it all the way to Tahiti before turning around and going all the way back up to Alaska. So one day the birds saw these whales swimming out in the middle of nowhere and decided to follow them. So that's how we got birds on the island. Also, the wind and the waves can carry seeds, but since we are the most isolated island chain in the world, it's more than 2,000 miles in any direction to get to land. We have to be a very light seed to be carried by the wind, or a seed that floats, like the coconut. So that's how coconuts got here from Tahiti. Coconuts can float more than 3,000 miles across the ocean because they float for about 110 days. Also, the waves give us seeds in the form of tsunami debris islands. So anytime you have a tsunami, you have a shoreline that's devastated, lots of trees and plants and animals, they're all sucked out to the ocean, and they congregate together to form tsunami debris islands that are then pushed around the ocean with the currents. So they say that Hawaii got a new species of plant and an animal every 35,000 years throughout history. Tsunami debris islands. And Kauai is about 5 million years old, so you can do the math on that one. We got a lot of plants and animals.
But how did you get Hawaiian shave ice?
Shave ice.
That's not natural out here.
Well, they do get snow up on top of Mauna Kea. So we have a couple mountains that are almost 14,000 feet. So in the winter, they will get snow. Back in December, there was a Hawaiian blizzard that hit the island. For most of the island, it was just a lot of wind and rain, but up on the mountain, they got more than a foot of snow, which is pretty unusual for the island. They usually get a couple inches at a time.
That's a Tuesday in Minnesota.
But what the locals will do here is they'll drive up to the top of Mauna Kea, and they'll fill up the bed of their truck with snow, and then drive down to the beach and try and build a snowman before it all melts. Because you can get from the top of Mauna Kea down to the beach in about an hour and a half. And then they also make shave ice out of the snow. So, I mean, if I had to guess, that's where I'd say no snow. the king back then, like cattle, the coffee, the sugarcane, with the hope that he would propagate them, and then when they came back in the future, they could trade with him. Because Hawaii is a great trade hub in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, great place to restock on the commodities. So King Kamehameha had himself 5 cows, and once the law was up and you could finally touch the cows here on the Big Island, the Hawaiians had no idea how to ranch. So George Vancouver went over to Mexico and picked up some Mexican cowboys, brought them over here, and they taught the Hawaiians how to ranch. And they also brought with them the guitar and the ukulele. So people see the ukulele as being significant with Hawaii. It actually came from the Mexican cowboys, Paniolo. You guys know how many letters are in the Hawaiian alphabet? Some say 12, some say 13 because the W makes a V sound. But you've got all 5 vowels and then H, K, L, M, N, P, and W. So there's no S in the Hawaiian language. They didn't know how to pronounce the S sound for years. So when the Mexican cowboys got out here, they were saying Espanol, Espanol, and the Hawaiians started calling them Paniolo. Paniolo. It's cowboy in Hawaiian. But that's how they figured out there were tiger sharks here on the island, is the Spanish and the Portuguese were bringing cattle to the island, but they couldn't get the boats close enough to get the cattle on shore. So they would dump the cattle in the ocean, and cows can swim, so they would swim to shore, but they noticed that only like 80% of them would make it to shore. There's a cove on the bottom of the island, Shark Cove, where they would drop the cattle. But once you could touch the cows on the island, there was a guy who stepped in. His name was John Parker, and he married King Kamehameha's granddaughter and became one of the first landowners in Hawaii. He was given 2 acres of land up on the north end, nice grazing pasture for cows. He started breeding cows as much as he could. And then once you could purchase land on the Big Island, he went and bought up all the grazing pasture up on the north end. He was in a race with the Rockefellers. They were trying to buy up as much as they could. So they actually did a land deal where John Parker bought up a bunch of the beach and traded with the Rockefellers for the farmland. And then the Rockefellers built the Mauna Kea resort north of Kona. Anyway, John Parker, at most he had 250,000 acres of land here on the Big Island. And nowadays Parker Ranch sits at about 180,000 acres. So we sold off 70,000 acres to smaller ranches that have cows. And right now there's more than 40,000 cows on the Big Island. So Big Island beef is a huge industry. All the cows in Hawaii are grass-fed, free-range cattle, and they live really happy, healthy lives because there's no predators. They don't have to worry about any predators.
And didn't Parker start the pineapple deal or something, or not?
I don't know anything about that. I mean, Dole is the biggest pineapple, and that's all on Oahu. This island is known for being smaller farms of pineapple. We have the white pineapple, which is a delicacy. Alright, so there's 40,000 cows on the island, but there's a federal law that says that you can't have an animal processing plant within 50 miles of a water source. And there's nowhere in Hawaii that's more than 40 miles from a beach. So how do you think they slaughter their cows?
Very carefully.
Very carefully. So my neighbor has 2 cows. So if you have a small amount of cattle, you can... Oh, he's going to wait for me. Okay. You can slaughter them by hand. There's a butcher in Waimea, there's a butcher in Hilo. But they want you to quarter the cattle yourself. That way you deal with all the waste and then they just cut it up for you. But you can't do that with 40,000 cows. So they ship them back to the mainland and be slaughtered. Now there's 2 ways you can do it. The expensive route, there's an air-conditioned 747. They can load up their cattle. They fly them back to California first class. They even show them an in-flight movie. slaughter them and send the meat back to Hawaii. Or you can put them on a boat. It takes about 2 weeks to ship anything from here back to the mainland by boat. So that whole time you got to keep them fed, you got to keep them watered. Somebody has to clean up the ship. Yeah, it's got to be a terrible job. But also they can't call them free-range cattle because the last 2 weeks of their life they spend in a cage. So they call it local grass-fed beef, shipped back to the mainland to be processed and then shipped back. But when you put it on a boat, there's something called the Jones Act that says that if you're going to ship an American product from one state to another, that you have to be flying the American flag, the captain has to be American, and the ship has to be made in America.
Wow, it's crazy.
But there's no American companies that build cattle hauling barges. So what they had to do is they had to get a Danish company to build them a boat. And then they can't legally send it back to the U.S., so they send the cows to British Columbia, where they load them on trucks, haul them down the west coast to be slaughtered, and then send the meat back to Hawaii. So
beef sounds like it's expensive.
it is, yeah. I mean, they have USDA beef that's only sent here after it's processed, and it's cheaper, but the Big Island beef has to make 2 trips, and the locals are still willing to pay it because you're supporting local farmers. Even though you're also supporting 12 other economies in the process, you are supporting Big Island beef.
And that's why Big Macs out here cost $5.
Yep.
So what would the cost of hamburger meat be here per pound?
It's different. There's a Costco, which at Costco everything's the same price as the mainland. But Big Island beef they sell in like the smaller grocery stores, and a ribeye is about 1.5 times the price. If I buy beef, I usually go for the ribeye, and it's like $20 a pound USDA, and it's like $30 a pound Peniolo. And up here, Holualoa gets rain almost every day. I forget to tell you, coffee was brought here in 1817 by Samuel Ruggles, who was a wealthy landowner in New York. He gave King Kamehameha the gift of coffee. He started growing it on Oahu and on Hawaii. In 1825, they brought coffee to the Big Island and found out it does really well here because of the acidity of the soil. And the rest is history.
Everybody's growing coffee.
I got a lot of free stuff.
Right?
Is marijuana legal in Hawaii?
Medically, yes.
Medically?
Yeah.
So they probably grow it here too, don't they?
Yeah, more in the Puna district. Puna's where all the hippies live. It's the southeast side of the island. They have drum circles on the nude beach on Sundays. Right? Is that still going on?
Yeah, Sunday fun day.
Fun day.
That fast.
Only been down there once.
They should make that one of the tours.
That's on the Hilo side. We'll take you there tomorrow if you're doing our tour. Sign up for the Waterfall Spectacular.
It's not Sunday, so it's not a fun day.
Tours tomorrow?
It's always a fun day at the nude beach.
What's your tour tomorrow?
My tour tomorrow is the Waterfall Spectacular. It's another double tour, so it's only a 3-hour. We hit some of the waterfalls in Hilo.
It's the avocado.
Yeah, it goes on the landing.
Big as a softball. Here we go. We're at the UCC Coffee place. This is their all the coffee trees down the hill here. But look at that. That's crazy.